introduce yourself to the audience, and then you can share your presentation.
Thank you so much. I'm Malmaz from Bahadar University. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Rural Development and Agricultural Extension. And I'm going to present on behalf of my colleagues entitled Determinants of Adoption of Improved Breed Technologies in Amara region, Ethiopia. East Amara region is one of the regions of Ethiopia. And first of all, I would like to thank you, moderators, panelists, and participants. So now my presentation is mainly focused on 4 major areas. We'll have introduction, methods, resulting discussion, and finally we'll have a conclusion and going forward or recommendations. So as come to the introduction, agriculture is engine for growth in Africa, and it is also plays a significant role in Ethiopia's political, economic, and social development. So it contributes 71% of employment and 34% of the country's GDP. And for the country's GDP, crop production mainly constitutes 72%. And breadwheat is the most stable food crops in the world and in Ethiopia as well. But its share in the land coverage is very limited or scanty. Simultaneously, its importance in area coverage is very important, and it's high importance in the Amara region. So it is the second important food crop in the highlands of Wollo. Wollo is one of the steady area. And the yield, as comes the yield obtained, and the farmers' management is very, very low, which is estimated to be now 1.2 to 2.2 ton per hectare, which is problems associated with different kinds of biotic and abiotic factors. So in order to increase production and productivity, now, different research centers in the country, both governmental and non-governmental organizations also made an effort to increase production, productivity, and even generation of different varieties of bread wheats, just to promote the technology in different potential areas of the country. As come to the districts, maybe district is a specific location of the study area. It is packages were introduced to improve the food security status of farmers. Sorry. Yeah. In spite of such intervention, information with regard to the following are scanty. For instance, adoption of cereal crops in general, breedwheat technologies in particular, and local specific factors that influence adoption and variation of the technologies among and between farmers, particularly for this improved breedwheat technology, is very, very scanty. So previous studies have mainly focused on factors affecting adoption of improved variety only and socioeconomic factors or variables. However, adoption of improved wheat variety alone is not enough to bring a significant change in production and productivity at household level, since the package of technologies influence the amount of yield obtained by farmers. That's why the study is initiated to conduct a research on a technology package of wheat. Therefore, availability of information on determinant factors of adoption of breedwheat technologies, its intensity, and policy measures that can be designed are crucial in the process of technology generation and dissemination efforts. Based on this, the study was proposed to find answers to the following research questions. The first one is, which factors are important in influencing adoption of breedwheat technologies in the study area? And the other one is, what is the intensity or level of adoption of breedwheat technology package and its influencing factors in Meki district particularly? So, at come to the methodology section, North Wollo Administrative Zone is one of the 11 zones found in Amara National and Regional State, and wheat is a major crop in the study area. Mainly, it's covered almost 32,000 0.783 hectares of land. So the district consists of 34 rural qabalés. This is a map of the study area. And let's come to sampling procedure. The study followed a multi-stage sampling procedure to draw sample households. For instance, the North Waldo zone is purposely selected from Amara National Regional State due to high potential of breedwood technology. And among the zone, Meki district is one of, again, the major wheat production area. So Meki district is again purposely selected, and it has 34 qabalés. Among the 34 qabalés, 15 qabalés are highly potential for breedwood production. Therefore, 15 qabalés are purposely selected based on this reason. And among the 15 qabalés, 4 qabalés again randomly selected for the case of this study. Finally, by using probability proportional sample size techniques, a total of 240 sample households selected by using this formula. However, by using this formula, a total will get 194, but considering 10% of non-respondent rate, finally, we got a total of 214 sample farmers or respondents were selected. And the study used cross-sectional quantitative data type, both primary and secondary data sources, and even the study used interview schedule because most of the respondents are unable to read and write. And as come to the analytical software, Stata software was used, and as a methods of data analysis, both descriptive and econometric data models used, particularly for instance in descriptive inferential statistics, chi-square, t-test, ANOVA, percentage and mean also used. As an econometric model, the double hurdle model was used. For instance, for determinants of adoption, we used PROVIT, and the second is with OLS. And as content data presentation tool, the study used bar graphs, tables, and pie charts. And as comes to conceptual framework, there are different factors which influence intensity and adoption of breedwood technologies. It categorized under 5 categories for this study. For instance, institutional factors, psychological factors, social capital factors, demographic and household economic factors. All these influence both intensity and adoption of breedwood technologies. And as come to results and discussion session, the study showed that 88.79% were adopters of the technology, whereas the rest 11.21% were non-adopters. And the study used an adoption index, and as a package, the package has mainly considered 5 key components. These are improved variety, row planting, application of chemical fertilizers, specifically urea and DAP, and then application of chemicals, particularly herbicides. So based on these 5 components, we calculated adoption index. Based on the calculation, the study showed that there are a significant mean variation among adopter categories, the 4 adopter categories, non-adopters, low adopter, medium, and high adopters. And even the mean of, based on the calculation of adoption index rank, the mean of adopter categories or all categories of the technologies were 0.67. And let us come to the first component of the technology, that is improved wheat technology. So the result showed that average area under local variety is 0.15 hectare, and average area under improved variety is 0.6 hectare. As you see in the results of the ANOVA test, it showed that there is a significant mean variation among adopter categories of using or applied this improved variety. And let's come to the second component of the technology, that's application of DAP fertilizer. And again, the result shows that there is a significant mean variation among adopter and non-adopter categories. And the average, as we see here, an average of farmers apply a chemical fertilizer, particularly DAP, is 72.82 kg per hectare, which is below the recommendation. And the other technology component is the application of urea fertilizer. And again, it shows that there is a significant mean variation among adopter categories. And the result implies that on average, the respondents used 63.03 kg per hectare, again, which is below the recommendation. And as come to higher adopters, for instance, they used 105 kg per hectare, which is almost good for the technology. And the other component of the technology is application of row planting. And there is a result also shows that there is a mean significant separation among the categories, adopter categories of respondents. So on average, a farmer applied row planting of wheat technology very minimal, that is 0.05 hectare of land is only covered by row planting. The rest is by broadcasting. So here is adoption of row planting is very low. Even as come to higher adopters, it is only 0.75 hectare of land is covered by row planting. The rest is by using broadcasting. The last but not the least components of the technology is application of herbicides. And this is also, there is a significant mean variation among the respondents and adopter categories. And on average, farmers apply 0.06 liter per hectare of herbicide, which is again very minimal and below the recommendation. It affects actually the yield of wheat. And as come to the independent or exploratory variables, which affect both determinants of adoption of technologies and extent of adoption, there are a number of variables are there, particularly, for instance, educational level, extension contact, annual income, total livestock ownership, oxen ownership, and having iron sheet house have a significant relationship with adoption of technology of wheat. And even ownership of mobile also have a significant relationship with adoption of a technology. And this is a model estimation of a double herd model. Out of 12 variables, 5 variables are determining adoption decision of farmers using the technology. For instance, oxen ownership, mobile ownership, total livestock ownership, educational level, and contact with the extension agent. For instance, this ownership, oxen ownership, have a significant effect and a significant relationship determinant factor at 5%. The marginal effect implies that an increase in number of oxen increases the likelihood of adoption of improved breeding technologies by 3.9%. And as come to the second extent of adoption of the technologies, there are 4 variables, namely ownership of land, participation in demonstration of wheat technology, perception of shattering of the improved wheat, and annual income have significantly effect on intensity of adoption of the technology. And as come to the conclusion, the descriptive statistics results showed that, the existence of this significant variation among adopters and non-adopters in relation to 5 variables: educational level, livestock ownership, mobile ownership, and the number of oxen. Moreover, there is a significant variation among adopter categories in relation to ownership of mobile and participation on farm demonstration. On the other hand, the adoption rate of breeding technology is found to have 88.8%, whereas its intensity is 67%. There are also variables which affect determinants of breeding technologies, namely number of oxen, mobile ownership, livestock ownership, educational level of the household head, and contact with extension agents. So the intensity of breeding technology adoption was significantly affected by different variables. Among that, ownership of main plots, participation of farm demonstration, perception value shattering, problem of breed varieties, and annual income. So the low adoption rate and intensity of row planting was related with extra labor required compared to the broadcasting. So this was indicated by high frequency of both adopters and non-adopters regarding with adoption of the row planting technology. As a recommendation, adoption of improved breeding technologies could be increased by the following reasons. One, raising farm household asset formation. The second one is providing frequent extension visits. And the third one is improving the agricultural information system. And the fourth one is enhancing participation on agricultural events, such as on farm demonstration and field days. Moreover, breed wheat variety development strategy should be directly aligned with farmers' perception. So we have to consider the perception of farmers in regard to this technology adoption. So the other one is increasing the efficiency of crop planting related to labor could increase adoption rate of the technology. So we have to promote labor saving and efficiency of farm implementation should be developed and promoted to the study area. This is all about what I have. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you very much, Almas, for the great presentation. Very interesting findings. We are listening to all presentations first, since we're recording the sessions, and then we stop recording. So please write down any questions or notes that you have. Either you can ask them later, or you can also write them down here in the chat, and then we can present them at the end to the presenter and discuss. Now, the second presenter just left. Now he's coming back. I'm not sure how stable his internet is. Tolu Lope, are you here with us? So you're still muted.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, please. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's not 100% perfect to sound quality, but we can try. Can you try to share your presentation? Maybe you switch off your own video, the camera. Tolu Lope. It seems there are some difficulties with the internet. Let's just wait some minutes. Tolu Lope, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you very well.
Okay, so sorry for the technical glitch.
No problem. That's part of today's world.
The virtual world cannot be compared to the to the real world. We are just learning. Anyway, okay. I'm trying to share my slide now. So can you get the slide?
Yes, we can see your slides.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning from this end to my moderator and participant. Thanks for the wonderful presentation, Almas. At least I learned from yours, and I want to thank the organizer of the ICABR conference for this year 2020. I'll quickly be speaking now. Okay, my name is Akimo Bolatolulope, and I'll be speaking on behalf of my colleagues that we did the study together. Dr. Mrs. Maf Mishabi OE, a lecturer in the Polytechnic of Hawa in Ondo State, Nigeria, and my other colleague that we had the field survey together, that's Awuyomiti E. So I'll be speaking on comparative analysis of the profitability of value addition to cassava in Ondo State, Nigeria. Basically, when we look at agriculture, just like my colleague said earlier, it is the major fabric of the nation, especially sub-Saharan African countries, because agriculture has been the mainstay of the economy before some other things begin to pop up like oil and some other things and some other natural resources. So specifically in Nigeria, it has been a very big contributor to the GDP of the nation, contributing about 70% of the Nigerian economy. And we can see that amongst every areas of crop that are planted in Nigeria, one stands unique, which is cassava, Manioc esculenta. It's one of the most widely cultivated crop by every smallholder farmers in the 21st century. That was quoted by Document 2018. And this is the reason for this is not far-fetched. One of the reasons is because this particular crop can be used for a wide range of purposes. That it has a wide, vast utilities. The tubers are harvested. After they have been processed, the peelings are used to feed ruminant animals. So this makes it a very crop that is that has high utility. So what is value addition? Value addition refers to the modification and the change of agricultural products from the original state to a valuable state. That is, they change a particular product from the original state to another state, and that's what we have been clamoring for. Specifically in Nigeria, in 2015, during the regime of our immediate president, there was a policy that was called Agricultural Transformation Agenda, and one of the inkling of this policy was to make agriculture a business, that is introducing agribusiness as it is. And one of the core value of the program is value addition, where every farmers were encouraged to go into value addition to their products, not just leaving their end products like that, but they should add value. It was this that brought about this research. Now look at cassava, one of the major staple crop in Nigeria. How can we add value? How has value been added? What are the constraints faced and some other things? From the pictorial representation on the slide, you can see the plants there. That's cassava plant. From there, we move to the harvesting, which is the final product on farm. That is the cassava tuber. It has not been peeled. But when you look at the next picture, I have to just put a schema because I can't take care of the value chain because of this slide. We have the processors. After the process, they now have arrays of products, end product. That is the value added product like gari, the fufu, the cassava, and the cassava chips. Basically, the question now comes to mind. We are talking about bioeconomy. You are talking about value addition. What's the correlation? What's the nexus? The global quest for sustainable bioeconomy has brought to the forefront the importance of engaging every agricultural system in the development of high-value development. As you can see in the pictogram also there, value addition is an end to a means. And what's the means? The means is value addition, and the end product is bioeconomy. If our products are extensively added value to, we begin to talk about sustainable bioeconomy, because the economy needs to be sustainable through value-added products. When you add value to the products, you don't just leave it at the farm level. When you add products, we talk about sustainable bioeconomy. And also, some of these products, like I said, like cassava, you can use it to do biogas. That's where we have ethanol and some other things. But the part of this study has not actually focused on that because it's just like a preliminary study. Now, the statement of research problem. I've said it in my introduction. Value addition is all about investment. Yes, it's an investment. You can look at it as a strategy to post-harvest loss. Probably, okay, let me add value. Probably I have excess of my farm products. I can actually add value to avoid post-harvest loss. That's another perception of it. Then some people also see it as a means to food security. Take, for instance, when you talk about food security, there are 4 pillars of it. We have food efficiency, food sufficiency, then food availability. And even what we call food, I call it varieties of food. So value addition actually encompasses all this, because when you have a cassava flake, you can actually make it to gari in our side, to fufu, to pupuru, and the last which you will see in the course of the study. So now that we know all this, the question now comes to a layman or a processor, which of these cassava products should I go into? And that's when we'll talk about the concept of profitability. Every business, every investor are looking for profitable business to invest in. So if the business are not profitable, then there's no need doing it. That is why this study now want to answer some few questions in the study with the broad objective to look at the comparative analysis of the profitability of all these value-added cassava products in the study area. The specific objectives are very few, just 4 of them. One was to ascertain the socioeconomic characteristics of the respondent, which was done. Also, we identified the types of value addition to cassava in the study area, that is in Ondo State, Nigeria. We compared the profitability among these value-added products. And finally, we look at the constraints that were facing it. And we actually worked on some hypotheses which will be shown in the course of the study. I quickly put up a conceptual framework for the study here. We have 3 variables: the independent variable, the intervening variable, and the dependent variable. All these 3 related together gives us the product of our study. The independent variable are the socioeconomic characteristics. They cannot be changed. They are independent on anything. Then the types of value addition, they also form the part of the independent variable. And also look at some parameters, which are the production variable, and that is these are the revenue, variable cost, processing cost. All these things might not change. They are independent of anything. Then we look at the intervening variables. Intervening variables include the government policies, the NGO interventions, climate change, and other ones. That is, they do not partake in the study. They were not considered, but they could actually affect our dependent variable. So the interaction of all this gives us what we call the profitability. Then profitability can be built. I thought that's like a pre-survey, because we are still going for a proposal where we do the re-survey to capture the whole state and probably some other part of the region. So profitability, we come to look at, is it profitable or not profitable? If it is profitable, which level of profitability? Is it high or low? That's the end point of the study, and that will lead to what? An economic growth or decline in economic growth and the other ones. I come to the methodology of the study. The study was carried out in 2 local governments of Ondo State. Out of the 18 local governments, 2 were purposely selected because they have predominant cassava processors, and that's Akure South and Akure North. And we can see that they are located in the southwest Nigeria, just like I said earlier. And the population for the study comprised of all cassava processors in the study area. Basically, to get our sample, we used multi-stage sampling procedure. Can you hear me, please?
So yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, thank you very much. I need to be sure. Okay, thank you. So I continue. Yeah, in this first stage, we have the purposive selection of the local government, just like I said. Then the second stage, we add a random selection of communities from 2 communities each from each local government. And in the third stage, we now use the snowballing technique, that is referral, to select 30 cassava processors in the study area, since they were all dominant in that environment. In all, we had a total sample size of 120 respondents. However, during the course of the study, after the instrument gathering, we saw that it was only about 110 that was useful. And to ensure the accuracy and consistency of our result, we had to expunge about 10 out of them, which were not properly filled. So we have the methodology for the study. I will have to skip that because that is more reflected in my chapter 4. I showed how I measured my variables, both independent and independent variables, and the tool that was used to measure them. I used ANOVA for the hypothesis. Now, result and discussion, the hinting. From figure 1, we can see that the majority of the respondents, that is the cassava processors in the study area, were female. This is because this is seen as a major female assignment in the study area. Men are actually involved, but they are not as much involved as a female. Also, in table 2, we can see that one thing that is peculiar there is that, majority of the respondents were married. This shows that they have a form of informed decision. They could actually consult with the family member, with the husband, okay, which one should I go to? So definitely this could actually tell on the product of their profitability, which was preempted in the study. Then in figure 3, we can see the information on the age of the respondent. You can see that the average age of the respondent in the study area is 49.2 years, which shows that actually they're in the active age. That means youths are still involved in processing. Then why should the government say there are not need for empowerment? Once youth are involved, they can actually see a way to come in to help them in it, because the concept has been, and the idea has been, that they've left the aged ones to farming. But now we're talking about processing. If the aged one truly are involved in farming, then they can encourage youth to go to value addition and processing. Then the third one talks about the sources of labor used by the farmers or by the processors. They use more of hired laborers, because these are people that go on, mass production. Some of them, as a matter of fact, they feed the entire state with their product. So with this, they have hired farming as their major source of labor. Now, educational status, you can see that majority of them are educated, with just about few of them not having formal education. That is just about 24.5% of them. And the household size, the average was 6 persons, and also the years of experience in processing was 23.5 years, which means that people that were selected had ample information. They've been in the business for a while, so they know how it goes. They know the measurements, they know how to calculate their variable cost. They even keep records. That was what made this study unique, because we had records of their variable cost, how much they incur, their processing cost, and every other thing that form our TVC and our TFC. Now, we talk about the value addition that was identified. Basically, those you can see that the majority of them, virtually all, that's Gary, because when we talk about Nigeria, one of the staple food that everybody eats in Nigeria, a day cannot go that you might actually not take it. That's Gary, because it's a light food. Students take it, just soak the Gary in water. Is the cassava, fried cassava flakes, then you take it and you take it into your body. It doesn't take cooking. So that's why majority of them go into, because they have high market for this. Then also look at fufu, which is the second one, is a peculiar food in the southwest region of Nigeria. So with this, majority of them were into this. Then cassava flour. Then another one that was there is pupuru. With time, I will tell you some things about that. Yeah. Now, the profitability analysis. gross margin was used, that is the budgetary analysis was used to delineate the profitability of this cassava product. I would not like to take through because it was measured on an average. Okay, if you are producing 200 kilograms of cassava from your farm, if you want to produce it, how much will it cost you? That is the processing cost of that. The average was gotten for Gary, it was 3,000 naira, 725. For fufu, it was 3,100 and the likes. Then we look at the quantity of outputs they gather. Then the average for Gary was 125 Congos, which is a module. Then for fufu, they pack it in bags. The average was 2 bags. Then for fufu, we have 410 Congos and the likes. Then we look at the variable cost, just like I said. Farmers that were selected, fortunately, they have been trained on record keeping by the Agricultural Development Program Agency, which is the body responsible for agricultural extension in Nigeria. They've trained them on record keeping, so we had their record. They were able to tell us, okay, in this particular time, this how we do, this how we do. I'm able to get the variable cost they use. And now look at the revenue. How much do you get from your products? Now deducting the revenue from the TVC, we got our gross margin. That is how much is their profit. And with that, we have gross margin for Gari to be 2,000 naira, 740. Then we have for fufu, we have 6,005 naira. Then for pupuru, we have 11,520 naira. For starch, we have 4,020 naira, and for cassava flour, we have 1,860 naira. Then, another objective that was achieved in this study was to identify the constraints. And we can see that the top constraints in the list was lack of adequate technologies. Processors, they are still using crude implements. And that's one of the basic aim of this study, to actually look at the constraints they are facing so we can enhance value addition. Then, poor extension services. As a matter of fact, when we got to feed, some of them highlighted that they only restrict the extension services to farmers and not the processors. And that's a bit bad, because one of the functions of the extension agent is to give them information about credit facilities, market analysis, not just farming and chemicals alone. So with this, we look at the constraint, which is the second one, and the third one is lack of modern processing facilities. I've said that they don't have modern facilities. They don't still press with their hand, put heavy stones to get the water generated from the cassava, which is far from what you have in the third world and the European countries. So with this, which are the constraints, and some other ones like lack of storage facilities, some of them are forced to sell their market in an unprofitable manner because they don't have market. They don't have storage facilities to keep those gari and fufu in press for a long time. So we have a lot of the 12th one, which is unstable power supply. Why do they pick this? Because most of them don't even use any electrical machines. So definitely they don't see this as a constraint, but we perceive it could be a strength, but they told us that it was not a constraint because they are not exposed to machines that use electricity. Now, the last thing was to look at the analysis of variance. That is there any differences between the value addition between the products across the 4 communities? When we look at that, we can see that actually, when you look at it from here, we have a significant value of 0.726, which is greater than 0.05 confidence interval, because that none of the products have a significant difference. That means the profitability is unique, is common among them. There's no form of outlier or differences between both the gari, the fufu, the pupuru, the starch, and even the cassava flour, because that all of them altogether does not have a significant difference across the 4 communities. Also, we did a differential analysis of the educational status, because somebody might be preempted to say, okay, there are some factors that might actually influence it. For the purpose of this study, we selected just one of it, which is educational status. That is, educational status was broken just to 2, educated, not educated. Being educated, does it actually cause a difference in the profitability of those products or not? That's why we see that education does not have any differential effect on these products. That means education does not, what matters is the experience according to them, because they told us on feed that it's not just about the education, but your experience in the processing of this determines your profitability. With that, I would like to conclude that the study actually shows that female dominates the cassava processing industry in the southwest part of Nigeria, in Ondo State specifically, and they are in their active age and they possess years of quality experience in the cassava processing firm. And we can see that the basic and the the common cassava processing value addition were fufu, gari, cassava flour, pupuru, and starch. And also look at the profitability. The profitability level, we should see that pupuru are the highest. And this is one of the one that are not common. Then you can see the profitability raised high because they are not in demand in market. So the little that could produce that, they got a lot of profit. So with this, we can actually give some recommendation as we go on the study. Then we have the cassava flour being profitable too. All of them are profitable, but the highest was pupuru, followed by cassava flour. Then we now have the gari. Then just like I said, the inadequate technologies, poor extension services, and lack of modern facilities were the constraint faced, and there was no differential effect of location, that is the community and educational status, on the profitability of cassava value products in the study area. Now, recommendation. The study therefore recommends that farmers and processors and even the youth should be encouraged and empowered to engage in agribusiness since they have been found to be profitable. The government is battling with ameliorating unemployment as a menace. Youth can be sponsored, can be empowered to go to cassava value addition, whereby you just buy from farmers, then you process, then you sell. There are ready markets. It can be made for import and export. Even in Germany there, people take cassava flakes. I have friends that study outside the country there that they have to import and export gari. If the youth could do this, could be a means of GDP to the country. Then also, extension services should be made available and accessible to the processors, not just the farmer alone. They should try to link them with market, prospective and potential market. Then lastly, the government and related stakeholders should ensure that they facilitate processors and farmers' access to technologies and modern processors. They should not be crude. That is why we cannot meet up to standard and we're talking about food insecurity, because our farmers are still using their old and archaic means of processing. So with this, I think this study has actually highlighted some things which is meant to be enhanced in further studies for policy recommendation. Thank you for listening.
So thank you very much. Great presentation also. Please do write down any questions that you may have to Lolope, and then we can discuss them at the end. We now have a third presenter here also. His internet appeared to be a bit shaky, but let's try to hear his presentation. Wahid, can you try to share your screen? Then we can listen to your presentation as well. Okay. It's unclear. Wahid, can you hear us? Okay. He's now sharing his screen. I think he can share his presentation. We cannot yet hear him. Let's just be a little patient, whether he can resolve his technical difficulties.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much. All right. So can I start now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I just believe that this internet will allow me to finish. My name is Wahid Ashagidbi from the Department of Agriculture and Resource Economics, Federal University of Technology, Akure. So the title of my presentation is Awareness of...
Just a second, we cannot yet see your presentation.
You cannot see it?
No, we see your file, your desktop. Maybe you stop screen sharing.
Can you see it now?
No, maybe you have to stop screen sharing and then click again on the presentation.
Again?
Start it again. Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, let me do it again. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Can we all see it now?
No, we can see your files,
can
your
see
file
it?
structure, but not the presentation itself.
I have shared it now. Is it not coming up again?
No, we can see your screen and we can see your file structure.
Let me try it again once more.
Yeah.
is serious.
No stress.
Can you see it, sir?
Yes, now we can see it.
You can see it now. Oh,
yes, perfect. God. Wonderful. Okay, so just
okay,
go ahead.
Fine. So as I said, okay, fine. So introduction. Nigeria is one of the top 20 countries bedeviled with malnutrition all over the world. And this is because we consume food that are high in calorie and very less in vitamins and micronutrients. And because of this, about 20% of pregnant women are affected. Likewise, 30% of children that are 5 years and below are faced with malnutrition. Inability of the majority of the Nigerian population to consume food that are very high in micronutrients and vitamins has led to the biofortification of cassava in Nigeria. So this is done because cassava is the most one of the mostly consumed food groups in Nigeria, and also it is also very cheap to afford. This is done because it will give higher percentage of the population, especially the rural poor, the ability to consume micronutrients or to have micronutrients and vitamins in their diet at affordable and cheap priced. So this is also done in order to reduce the incidence and the severity of food insecurity and also malnutrition in the country. So achieving this reduction in food insecurity and malnutrition, which is the SDG 2, will never be achieved if the populace, that is the consumers, are not aware and they are not willing to purchase this particular biofortified cassava product. And that's the reason why we carried out this study. The methodology, the area of study is Ondo State, Southwest Nigeria. And we chose this particular area because of the situation of Federal College of Agriculture, which assisted in the distribution of these biofortified cassava products. The data type used is primary in nature, and the sampling technique adopted is multi-stage sampling technique procedure. The first stage is the purposive selection of 3 local governments across the 3 senatorial districts in the research area. And the reason why we chose those local governments is because of the spread of the
Sorry, wait, are you still there? So please apologize the technical difficulties. Wahid, are you there again? Yeah, it seems, yeah, perfect. Just go ahead. You're still muted, however.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the second, okay, let me move on. Can you see the screen?
Yes. We can see the screen and we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm having, okay, let me just continue with what I'm saying. If you can hear me perfectly, because the screen is no longer moving, I don't know what is happening again.
Okay.
So, like I said, the second stage is the random selection. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can stop screen sharing and start it again. Maybe it works.
Yeah, let's start.
We can try that.
Okay, the network is fluctuating. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. The second stage is the random selection of 3 communities in each of the 3 local governments selected, while the third stage is the random selection of 15 consumers in each of the communities. So making a total of 135 respondents in all. So the about 45 cassava products considered are gari, which is cassava granules, lafun cassava powder, starch, tapioca, fufu, which is cassava dough, and pupu, which is cassava flour. The method of data analysis that we adopted are on descriptive statistics. This is used to ascertain the socioeconomic characteristics of the respondents. We also adopted probit model to determine the factors influencing the consumers' awareness of the biofortified cassava products. Probit model is more or less like a district model, where Y1 equals 1 for those that are aware of the products and 0 for those that are not aware. So the explanatory variables are age of consumers, consumption of cassava products, marital status, gender, level of education, household size, annual income, and employment status and habitation. We also used choice-based conjoint analysis to determine the prices at which the consumers will be willing to pay for that biofortified cassava products. And this conjoint analysis, we set up the upper and the lower market prices. And a household is willing to pay if he or she chooses within the upper and the lower market prices. So a respondent is not willing to pay if he chooses below the lower market price. So we also adopted logistic model to determine the factors influencing the respondent's potential demand for biofortified cassava products. So YI is 1 for those that are willing to pay and 0 for those that are unwilling to pay. So we also use the explanatory variable under the determinant of awareness, and we included price of the product and awareness of biofortified cassava products under this. So the results, we observed that 70% of the respondents are male, while the mean age of the total respondent is 46.5 years, indicating that they are in their productive and active age. 8 out of every 10 are married, while about 94% have one form of education or the other. The household size is a little bit high, which is 6, while about 41% belong to farming households. However, 52% of the respondents reside in the rural area. The level of awareness is 81.5%, which is high. So table 2 that I have here states the determinant of consumers' awareness of biofortified cassava products. And here we observe that age of the consumers, gender, and habitation are those factors that adversely affect the awareness of consumers of the biofortified cassava products. So this means that respondents that are old are less aware of the biofortified cassava products than those that are youths. Also, the male respondents are also less aware of the biofortified cassava products relative to the female respondents, while those that reside in the rural areas are less aware of the biofortified cassava products. Table 3 shows the prices of both the conventional and the biofortified cassava products in the study area. And the conventional cassava products ranges from $0.63 to $1.1 per kg, while that of biofortified cassava product ranges from $1.1 to $1.67 per kg. We noticed that about 66.7% of the respondents are willing to pay for gari, which is cassava granules, and 57.8% are willing to pay for fufu, which is cassava dough. We restricted ourselves to these two particular biofortified cassava products because they are the mostly consumed cassava products in the study area. So the upper and the lower sale prices are restricted to $1.39 and $2.78. So table 4 shows the determinants of potential demand for biofortified cassava products. And here we observe that gender and habitation are the two most important factors adversely affecting the potential demand of these biofortified cassava products by the respondents in the study area. In conclusion, we notice that there is greater level of awareness in the study area of the biofortified cassava products. And we also observe that age, gender, and habitation are those factors that adversely influence the level of awareness of the biofortified cassava products. Also, we stated that gender and habitation are the factors that adversely influence the potential demand for biofortified cassava products. We have already recommended that awareness program among the aged, the male respondents, and those that reside in the rural area should be intensified so as to spread the news across this group of respondents in order for them to be able to reduce their malnutritional status and food insecurity. Also, we suggested that price control policy measure should be implemented in the rural areas because we noticed that majority of the rural populace are not willing to purchase this particular product. And I'm very sure it's because of their level of enlightenment as regards the benefits of consuming the particular biofortified cassava products. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Wahid, and to all the other presenters as well. So now, please, if you have, maybe you stop the screen sharing, Wahid.
Okay, let me just. Okay, I've done that.
Yes. Yeah, we have a question here. Jessica Lyons was asking whether the slides were stuck. Yes, it seemed that Wahid had some difficulties with the slideshow. It was stuck at one point.
Yes.
So please, if you have any specific questions.
Is it off the screen now?
Yes, it's off now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So it's now time for discussion. If you have a question or any comment to either of the three presenters, you can write either in the comment box here, or you just raise your hand. And
yes.
I was wondering a bit if you could explain on this adaptation index in a bit more detail again. So this was the intensity to which they use the improved seeds, or it was this whole package, including seeds and also fertilizers and herbicides and so on?
Okay, let me explain on adoption index. Now, adoption index is an index, and it's used for measuring intensity of the technology. It is an internationally accepted index, particularly in relation with adoption of any technologies. So for the sake of this study, now when we say technology package, there are some components of the technology. For the sake of this study, bread with technology packages considered for this studies are Now, chemical fertilizers, specifically application of urea and DAP. And the other is application of row planting. And the fourth component is application of herbicides. And the fifth component of the technology is improved breed variety. These five are components of the technology. So when we say adopter, a farmer either used one of these technologies, particularly for improved variety. So when we say adoption index, it is calculated as, it is a function of these five different components divided by each of the component by its recommendation. For instance, adoption index is a function of application of or use of improved variety over total area covered by local and improved variety plus application of urea fertilizer over the recommendation of urea fertilizer, again plus application of DAP fertilizer over its recommendation, again plus application of herbicide over recommendation of herbicides liter per hectare. The last component is again plus application of row planting of wheat variety over broadcast plus the row planting technology. So these are, the different components, how we calculate adoption index. Adoption index is mostly, it is a range of, not mostly, it is perfectly a range of between 0 and 1. When we calculate all these components, it is a range of between 0 and 1. Then, based on the normal curve, we can, based on this calculation, we can categorize it. 0 is non-adopter, and there is a cutoff point of 0.33 based on the normal curve calculation. So 0 is non-adopter, a range of 0 up to 0.33 is no adopter, and the range of 0.33 to 0.66 is medium adopter, and a range of 0.66 to 1 is high adopter. So, based on the adoption index calculation, we can categorize respondents in these 4 categories. That's why the study used ANOVA or F-test to identify the mean difference among the different respondents under these 4 categories. This is what adoption index means. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, thank you also. Yes, thank you very much. Are there any other questions to Almas in what she has presented?
Any questions, please welcome. This is one way of a learning session, and we have a good opportunity to share our experience. Participants is welcome to ask questions.
Yes. Okay. Otherwise, you can also feel free to reach out by email to Almas. I was still curious, Almas. So, does higher adoption, like a higher score on this adoption index, is this also associated with higher cross margins and so on? Or is it not necessarily the case? Do farmers have maybe a reason not for adapting the full package? Can you see that with your data?
Yeah, actually, when you say high adopter, not necessarily he is benefited in a full technology, which is that the farmer is under a category sector. It might be, for instance, he used full application of urea fertilizer as per the recommendation. He might not be used application of DAP according to the recommendation. For instance, when a farmer is under a category of high adopter, he may use row planting technology as per the recommendation, but he might not be used or applied herbicides as per the recommendation. So the aggregate sum of the different components may he fall under the category fire daughter. But as come to the different components of the technology, one farmer may be fall under mid category, high category, and so on. But in aggregates, we can say the farmer is fire daughter. If he fall a range of between 0.66 to 1 in our adoption index. Am I clear?
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear?
Yes, thank you very much. Are there any questions to Almas? Or are there any questions to Tulolope also, who presented about cassava and profitability of different types of cassava value addition? Tulolope, you're still here with us?
Yes, I'm still there with you. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to ask you, you mentioned that having adequate technologies is a constraint to the cassava processes. And then you suggest that the government should provide such technologies. Now, I was wondering, since you also show that actually these processing businesses are quite profitable, why are the processors not just buying this equipment themselves? Why is there a need for government action?
Okay. Thank you, moderator. Yeah. I actually suggested that because basically, even when you look at the terrain of the environment, not that they don't have some technologies as such, but the thing is, some of them still go within their little strength to do what they call fabricated machines. Some of them come to our department and our university here, in the Department of Agricultural Engineering, to fabricate some of their machines. But notwithstanding, for us to meet up with the demand, because when you look at cassava production, cassava consumption in our state or even in Nigeria generally, the demand cannot be met. And one of the things is for them to get heavy and sophisticated machine. For you to erect, I think I visited a starch producing company in my state, that's Matna company. When you get there, the heavy machines there that could cater for them to make some tons of cassava is when I calculated in dollars converted to Nigerian money, that's about 200 million naira. There's no individual that can afford that. Even if they go, we encourage them to form cooperatives. They still say within their cooperatives, the worst they can still get is to make a fabricated machine. So that's why we're looking at, okay, if the government want to come in to actually have this sustainable bioeconomy and sustainable food security, they could come in, since they have the money, probably from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they can actually cite one factory, or let me say processing unit, for them to process their products. Then from there, you take it off. That's why I recommended for the government that they could come in to help these, capital. Let me say, okay, those that have lack of capital to actually. So do you get me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we get you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this clarification.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any other questions to Tulolope? Tulolope, I was also wondering, because you tested whether education has an influence on profitability, like in gross margin and so on. And you say it doesn't have an influence. And then you said that what has an influence, according to the processors themselves, is experience. Could you also formally test this with the data that you have? Or did you do that?
Okay, just like I said, what we did was like I won't say a preliminary study, but a part of the study that is ready, that we need to tell the world that we are doing something. Actually, normally it was not even the influence that I tested, because if I wanted to test the influence, I would have used probably one of these regression analysis.
Sorry, Tulolope, the sound is a bit interrupted. Seems he's trying to talk to us, but there's some technical difficulties. Tululupa? Yes, here you are again. Sorry, you're still muted? You're still on mute, Tululupa?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay,
Can you hear
now we
me?
can.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I had a little, So what I'm saying is, I only consider the difference because looking at the parameters about the social economic, which are the I will call them the factors. I mean, these contributory factors. The contributory factors that we have are age, all this. Normally, we are still going to look at all these factors and what are the marginal effects, not just to look at, we want to look at marginal effect, but for the purpose of this study, we just quickly look at, okay, let's look at the factors that actually can differentiate the product. And one thing that comes to mind that people suggested a priori is what? The educational status. So that's why we started with that, look at, okay, can the educational status in the recent, can it actually have a differential effect on the profitability? Because people might say, okay, because I'm not educated, then that means I might not have the knowledge of economics to do my profitability. Well, you can say that is false. All of them are profitable, almost equal. That's why there is no great difference in the mean of their profitability. So that's what we looked at. Do I answer the question?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions to the presenters? Otherwise, feel free to reach out to them by email. Then I would like to thank all of you for attending today. I think it was a very interesting panel and a good discussion. We learned a lot about the adoption of wheat bread varieties in Ethiopia, biofortified cassava in Nigeria, and cassava processing. It was all very, very interesting. I wish all of you all the best for the future. And please do attend some of the next sessions.
Okay, thank you.
Conference.
Before you go, Professor Thomas, please, I wouldn't mind if you can share us your email, probably for more, Do you mind?
Yeah, I can write it here in the chat.
Yeah. Almas, well done. I also like to have your own email as well, but I will get across to you because I'm okay. I'm learning. I said I'm an early career researcher. So when I see my senior colleagues in the profession, I love to actually chair and make networks. So don't mind me. Sorry for that anyway.
Okay, thank you everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this big conference, and I'm happy to share my experience, and even I had a great opportunity to share experience with other presenters also. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, email, and we will share our experience for the future.
Oh, no problem. We are together in the sub-Saharan Africa country. So, of course, we move together. We can make the continent great.
Yeah, we will make it great.
We will make it great, yes. Make it great.
Okay.
Conference and workshops, maybe we will meet. And even
Sorry.
I appreciate the organizers and moderators as well. And I'm very happy to part in this conference.
Okay.
Yes. All the best. And we see perhaps at the next conference in person.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All the best to all of you.
See you.
Goodbye. See you.
All right. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes. You got the email? I wrote it down there.
Yes, I got that in the chat box. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's been copied. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely I will get across.
I think our email is inside the conversation of particularly yesterday's night email. I think we will have
Yeah.
all other, we like emails.
That Regina sent to you, yes. Then you can reach out to each other also.
Yeah, Zoko, the co-moderator sent an email for all of the presenters. So we'll get an email from that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay, yeah, that's true. You're right, Almas. That's true.
email. Would you please send me your email, Thomas?
You said?
Yeah. Please share me your email.
Okay, I should share my email. Okay, on the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, this is my email. Let me share that on the chat box. Okay, so can you get that?
Okay.
Can you get that?
Okay, you wrote down the email addresses. Then we can you can keep in touch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, Almas, but I didn't get your own. I would like to have your own too. Sorry.
I will send to you. Actually,
Okay.
Thomas, would you help me to share my email to the people?
Okay. Okay. No. I've gotten it now. I've gotten it.
I think you can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Almas GZW. Okay. All right. So it's good to share presentation with my, my senior colleagues and scholars. Thank you very much for the panel session, moderator. Thanks very much. And kind regards to I think Mrs. Regina.
Yeah, Professor Regina Biena, exactly. I will tell that to her. Okay. All the best to all of you. See you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.